we were doing all kinds of marketing. I mean, cold calling, door knocking, driving for dollars, calling every list, foreclosures, just anything that would stick. At that point, we started doing flips.
Yeah.
So we were rehabbing houses. The first flip, I fired the contractor not even halfway through, so we had to go in and buy some tools and finish the flip ourselves. The second flip, fired the contractor 2/3 of the way through. We had to go finish that one. The fourth flip, we fired the contractor 3/4 of the way through.
Improvement.
So we were improving on each flip and learning how to manage these contractors. Everybody's after 2008, everybody became a GC. You had a drill and a hammer, you were a GC, even if you were a painter.
Yeah.
And everybody was a GC. So it's like sourcing, finding the right contractors, working with contractors, doing the work. Like, it was definitely a huge learning curve for us. So we started flipping houses. It was going a little bit better. We were making ends meet. But the problem was, like, we would get a deal, we would get 2 deals, everything's going great. We would sell those, and then we're like, oh, shoot, we don't have anything else right now, right? So it's back to we need more deals.
Yeah.
So that was a mistake that we made. Nobody taught me that. It's like, never stop marketing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we would get a deal and we would stop, and we would focus only on that deal and get that deal done. The materials, go to Home Depot, go to Floor & Decor, match out the tiles, all the pretty shit you see, right? And then we finish the project and we're like, now what?
Yeah.
Okay, hit the streets again, start marketing again. And there's always a lag time, right?
For sure, especially if you're flipping.
Yeah, especially if you're flipping. I have students right now that they're like, I had an amazing February, killed it in February. And I was like, don't relax.
Yeah. Because
the reason you killed it in February is the work that you did in October, November, December.
For sure.
You understand? Like, this isn't that you did something in February and killed it in February.
Yep.
So if you stop now, by the time you hit April, you're going to realize you have no deals. And by the time you start, it's going to be August before you hit your next deal. So your lull goes to like 6 months of nothing. And that's what we would experience.
Yeah.
So we would experience 4, 5, 6 deals at once and then nothing.
Yeah.
For like 8 months. So it was nothing but stress. And it was like, where do we get this? And we were talking to this person, but the lead time is so long before we close the deal. So it was extremely stressful.
Yeah.
It was just a very stressful time. Then we figured, like, all right, we're good with flips. Like, we're eating, right? We're surviving. Let's just build some houses. Why the fuck not, right?
Yeah.
Let's just complicate our lives.
New construction.
Yeah. New construction. So we got some lots. We started building some houses. Nightmare.
Yeah.
Complete nightmare. So 5 of the houses that we were, there were 3 new builds and 2 like complete remodels that we were tearing down and rebuilding pretty much. Those we finally wrapped them up last year. Finally wrapped up the deals. It's been like 5 years that we were working on them. And to settle at a loss of $250,000.
Oh, boy.
Not a profit loss, like a loss out of our pocket.
Yeah.
Of $250,000. So those were some bad deals that we got into just because we wanted to try new construction.
Yeah. Did selling those feel good still in a way, even though you lost a ton of money?
It got to the point that it had been so long that I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I honestly, like, John calls me, he's like, all right, we sold the last one. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
get rid of it.
Dude, it was nights of not sleeping.
Yeah.
It was stress. It was sometimes issues between Bar and I because we were both so stressed out about them. So it was a very hectic situation, to be a part of.
Yeah.
And luckily we kept the flips that kept bringing us our daily bread pretty much. We never stopped those.
Yeah.
So even though we took a $250,000 hit, it was like, all right, that sucked.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, shit, we're out of business.
Yeah.
Right? It was just more of like, man, I wish that wouldn't have happened, but we're okay.
Yeah.
We're fine. We still been generating deals and all that. But during the time of just dealing with the stress and not knowing what the hell's going to happen and how's it going to shake out, we use private funds for all the deals that we do. We don't use like hard money. So it was private investors involved in this. And it's like, they love us. But at that time, I was like, oh, God, I don't know what we're going to do.
Yeah, I know we said 9 months, but what about 5 years, guys? You guys good with that?
Does that work for you? But luckily, the investors, they've been with us for so long that they cut us some grace, and that's where the $250,000 loss is to the investors.
Yeah.
Like the house has still made some money, but not enough to cover all the interest. So, but for us, if you trust us, we make you whole. Right. So even though like their initial investment was protected, but their interest was lost, so we made sure to pay them all the interest that they actually generate. So the investors still walked away fine. But we took a nice,
quite the hit,
kick in the teeth.
Yeah, for sure. So you had 3 years at least of just grinding, and then you get to 2019, 2020. What's the point where things kind of started to click a little bit for you guys?
So in 2020, I don't know if you guys heard, but there's a pandemic.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it was in the news somewhere.
Yeah.
So, real estate, that's when real estate blew up in Texas.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the shutdown happened in March. It literally happened the day right after we closed on a big house. That was a very speculative
on a purchase?
Deal. Yeah, that we bought ourselves. And it was kind of like a speculative deal. It's not our typical bread and butter. And we close on it. The next day, there's a shutdown. We're like, I called John. I was like, can they take it back?
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's done. I was like, crap. So I was like, all right. We have a motto that's like, the only way out is through.
Yeah.
So we just, let's get it done. We didn't know that the real estate market was going to do what it did.
I don't think anybody did.
Oh, man, we killed it on that.
Yeah,
house.
it's good.
Like, we were so scared of like, maybe we make 20, and it's like, we made like 70.
Good. Good for you guys.
Yeah, so, but the thing to keep in mind is like that was just luck.
Yeah.
That wasn't strategy. That was pure luck.
Yeah.
It played that way and it didn't go the opposite. Right. So, but we kept monetizing and maximizing that market that we were in.
Yeah.
The issue we had was we used to buy all of our deals at that time from wholesalers, agents, and our network.
Yeah.
Because again, I hated wholesaling. Like the marketing aspect, all that stuff. It was hard for me. I'm good with sellers. But the marketing, I just wasn't clicking with. I wasn't understanding. We kept doing a bunch of random lists. It was a lot of overhead, a lot of work, a lot of everything. So I didn't like doing that. But in 2020, our wholesalers and agents, they stopped bringing us deals because we were being outbid by literally everybody that was moving from California and all these places. They were paying cash and like 50 grand over ass. So we were losing out on every deal. So we had to go back to marketing.
Yeah.
And I think that was a saving grace for us. It forced us back into marketing, into generating our own deals.
Yeah.
And it forced me into looking at wholesaling in a whole different way.
Yeah.
Which is how to build an acquisition business and not a wholesale company.
Love it.
Because the wholesale company is what I hated. The acquisition business, on the other hand, that's a lot more attractive.
Yeah.
So that's where we made that shift.
Very cool. So you made that shift, build the acquisition business, and maybe just talk a little bit about your main strategies now and what your acquisition business looks like.
So right now, our strategy is focus, right? We pick a strategy that we're really good at this moment is foreclosures, and we go all in on learning everything we possibly can about the foreclosure process, people in foreclosure, options when people are in foreclosure. So right now what we do is we pull the list directly from the county, and what that does for us is that as soon as the county posts a property for sale, we're the first to call it. So we're the first people to make contact with these sellers, and we're already offering them help. Like, hey, everybody calls a foreclosure, and the first thing they say is like, hey, I wanted to see if you wanted to sell your house at blah, blah, blah. They're in foreclosure for a reason. They don't want to sell their house. You asking them if they want to sell their house causes them to hang up on you, right? So I'm cool, keep doing that, because for us, what we do is like, hey, I've noticed that your house on Cliffside is set to be auctioned off on May 5th. Are you still looking for ways to save your home and stop that foreclosure?
Yeah.
Everybody says yes.
Yeah.
Because, of course, they want to save their house.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, how can you help me? So now we're able to expand and start digging deeper into what caused that foreclosure, why are they there, why they fall behind, and all of a sudden we're able to negotiate really good, steep deals.
Yeah.
But the benefit that came out of that is we hired a coach a few years ago, and he taught us a strategy of buying people's interest in deals. So what we learned is there's so many people in foreclosure that inherited the house. So they don't have any financial stake in the property. They don't really care what happens. It's not like their credit's going to get destroyed. So what we do is we're like, hey, we see you have this house, you have all these heirs. If I was to give you a couple $1,000, would you sign your interest over to us so we can resolve all these problems? Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, yeah, sure, because I was just going to let it go to foreclosure. So you can buy a house for a couple $1,000s now, and you own a house that's worth $80,000, $90,000, right? There's still some title issue. There's some things that need to get cleared up. There's risks that we're taking, but it's very calculated risk, right? Mm-hmm. So we, instead of needing to do 10, 15 deals a month, we can do 3 to 4 and still hit over 100, 150 grand a month. And our overhead is very small compared to what it used to be.
Yeah. So are you guys doing any fix and flips now, or the wholesale only?
Yeah, now the fix and flip, the good thing with generating your own deals is you get to cherry pick them.
Yeah.
So we don't do any massive renovations anymore. I mean, before our smallest renovation was like 70 grand. Now our largest renovation, I think, is like maybe 60. Mm-hmm. You know, they're quick in and out deals, like cosmetic, so we don't have to struggle with finding contractors with the high skill labor or anything. It's quick in and out deals, and they make, good margins on them. So it's a nice little balance between both fix and flips and wholesales.
Yeah. So you got super good, super niche down,